making them right now. They're just not in popular use.
Well, honestly, the big restriction for air taxis is still federal regulations here in the States, at least, and I'm imagining for most civilized countries that's a major issue, because where do how do you get these things from A to B? How do you deal with the regulations of having to fly over populated areas, which is inevitable if you're talking about an air taxi, right? So they have not figured out how to implement all this stuff whilst guaranteeing that if one of these things blows a prop or has a battery issue, that it doesn't come crashing down in someone's yard.
Yeah,
or worse.
and frankly, I look at this, and the first thing that comes to mind is they're going to mount an M2 to that thing, and it's going to, be another weapon.
I would not want to be in one of those on the battlefield with bullets flying at me. One prop hit and you're done. Come on, it's a terrible idea.
It's not robust. It's totally exposed.
I mean, like, you take the human out, obviously.
How much shielding would you have to carry with you, though, just to protect your props?
They just got some clout right now because of the name, but I don't know, where they're going with it. I've seen better models.
Should I continue on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, this patent here, it's the same one. They're showing in more detail that you can have DC pickup coils with AC pickup coils. And from what I actually understand from the one up here, I believe, I'm not too sure, but I believe that because they grounded this, only the hydrogen's going out here. And then the oxygen is getting recirculated into the fuel cell, the wet cell, so that, like, I'm assuming, so that when it runs out, it doesn't, like, implode in any way, or because it's not being sucked out. So I think it's only hydrogen that's coming out here, because it says in the patent it's a gas electrical hydrogen generator. So I'm assuming it's only hydrogen that he's trying to get out of this, which is fascinating. Anyways, so here is he's explaining for, like, a gasoline engine for a lawnmower. He has the HHO going up. It's going through the tube, getting air, exploding, and then the vapor he's recycling back into the system so that it burns at the same rate as natural gas. And that way it doesn't burn too hot, so you can just easily retrofit it onto a regular engine. Here he has resonant generators, so like Helmholtz type systems, where he where is that? Right there. So, like, you charge here, water comes in, spark it, negative on the outside, I'm assuming. And yeah. That's that. That's all I have.
It's hard
to
look at all this stuff, right, Sean? It's hard to look at all this stuff it's hard to look at all this stuff and just confuse it with simple electrolysis methods. Everything about this is entirely different than electrolysis. And it seems that some people still can't get it through their heads that this is more than putting a differential DC potential across two electrodes.
Yeah, this is that transformer, that saturation transformer. Well, here is regular electrolysis, but this is I just threw this in because it's a separator cell. They call it a dry cell. Realistically, it's not. Yeah, so, like, all it is there's a membrane in between. So the membrane, people use silkscreen, the nylon silkscreen, and they also use, which I heard was a really good method, was a sheet of 3 mil Teflon, sheet of that in between. That way there's less chance of the oxygen and the hydrogen combining. So if you wanted to separate and store it in low pressure, the propane tanks, if you get low carbon propane tanks, you can store it that way at low pressure. You just need a lot of tanks. And yeah, that is that. Anybody else?
I'm just wondering how I'm gonna share this thing. If I can share this thing, maybe I can pull up this patent. I guess I'll have to select it and come back. Give me just a second. I gotta pull up the patent.
I'd say keep going on. I was loving every minute of that, Sean, and just the difference. If you could go in a little bit more detail between the electrolysis hydrogen styles compared to this oversaturation method.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, sure. I just have to re-allow my share screen. And so the transformer. Let's see if I can find this again. All my notes are all messy. That's on it. Yeah, another fancy Dan for people. Most Canadian patents that are like, fancy and like Thomas Townsend Brown and this, they get this umbrella looking stamp in the corner. I call it the umbrella stamp because it looks like the Umbrella Corporation stamp.
Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out. That's for the Canadian ones.
Yeah,
I've noticed stuff
some
like
of them
this going back through history
I've seen
on
a
other
star. Ones. Yeah, I've seen a star. I've seen this. I've seen a couple other weird ones, but like Thomas Townsend Brown and Stanley Meyer have this stamp, so I'm assuming it's like.
So that's the stamp of the one they don't want getting out. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it. Sorry. So yeah, this is the voltage intensifying circuit, like I explained earlier. This is where
sorry. Go ahead, Sean. I've got to reselect you over here.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. You see it.
Yeah, there's like the pulse pickup coil comes through here, so that's what he's pulsing at. The switching dial comes here, goes through the resonant choke here, and the primary coil's right here, and of course circulates. And what happens, from what I understand, is that the amperage, because of the switching diode, is flipped around. So I'm not exactly too sure, because we learned about the saturation, and the saturation point, actually, I believe it's in here. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't realize he showed that in his graphs. That'd be great.
Yeah. I'm not too sure if it was the old manual or the new one. They're both old, but like one was 1986 when I was just a gleam in my father's eye.
$1986, eh?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I mean, I have to skim through faster here. Yeah. So that was the way method of having it run in a furnace. Oh, he's talking about how he's making down here. He's talking about how he made with having his system. He was able to get water vapor into the gas, and it would burn at like how natural gas would burn. But he did other methods too to it. Like in the combustion phase, he would like to take in oxygen with O3 and no and and excited oxygen as well for the combustion phase. Let's see here. Where is? I don't think it's in this one right here. I think. Damn it. Oh, there it is. Right there. So he's talking about through here, like through his ones, through all this, a voltage intensifying circuit. The saturation point, like remember how Jeremiah was showing you, like the guy was showing the exact effect with the pulse train he was putting in. It was kind of like building up and then it would drop. God, I wish I
Jeremiah?
could get that. I wish I could get that video. It was on. Oh darn! It was on. It's on this place where you could buy all the boards and all the stuff and do it yourself. But yeah, anyway. So here's the applied voltage to the resonant cavity, and it just shows that it steps up and then it drops, and that's due to the design of the the transformer.